Hello and welcome. My name is Thomas, and in this video I'm going to show you how to create statuses for your big projects and goals. Okay, so a little while back I created a brand new web app called Radar.ist. So this is a tool that I showed you step by step how to go through and create what I like to call a radar list. So as a quick recap, what a radar list is and what a radar list is not. So what a lot of people have is what we refer to as our to-do list, our task lists, right? And our task lists can be super long. And the reason they can be so long is because perhaps there's a big goal that you're aiming for and it takes a whole series of tasks in order to achieve that goal. Similarly, maybe there is a big project you're working on, and just like that goal, there may be a big series of steps or tasks you have to tackle and complete in order to accomplish that particular project. So what there are no shortage of in today's digital age, you probably have one or many on your phone, is to-do list managers, right? We all have a task list or a to-do list that's just filled with an assortment of things that have to get done. Sometimes you might have due dates associated with them. Sometimes you might have other things associated with them in terms of when and how you're going to get those things done. But one of the things I found very lacking out there in all the to-do and productivity apps that existed was what I like to call a radar list. And a radar list is more of a macro view. It's not a list of all the tasks you have to get done today. Instead, it's a list of big projects and goals that you want to get done over a longer period of time. In combination with this, what I have built into Radar.ist is a next action. What is the next thing that you need to do in order to move this goal or this project forward? One of the things I recognized or realized, however, as I was going through and creating my own radar list was that it's really easy for that list to get really long. And once that list starts getting super long, it can turn into the same problem that we have with our task list, which is that it can become overwhelming, right? So one of the things that I decided to work into Radar.ist is a series of statuses. So I've found this to be endlessly useful, particularly as I've been using Radar.ist myself, as a way to separate those things that I need to take action on and those other things that other people need to take action on in order for me to continue moving it forward. So without any further delay, let's go ahead and take a look at this relatively new feature that I've added into Radar.ist so you can get an idea of kind of the methodology and how it can help you stay focused and be more productive. Okay, so for the sake of this example, I'm just going to go ahead and actually create a brand new account. So if you haven't done this, you can just head on over to Radar.ist. This, of course, is a totally free service that I've created. So I'm just going to say tv@rightly.co. Testing. You want to use a better password than testing. In fact, it's not even going to let me. I forgot. We've got some good security built in here, so we'll go ahead and use an older password. Okay, so I've got a new account created in Radar.ist. So what you'll see here if you have logged into Radar.ist recently is a number of different statuses. So we've got active, those are the things that we're currently working on, and then we've got waiting, things that we're waiting on, and then things that we're done with under archive. So let's go ahead and start creating a few items. So first, let's say that we want to, we've got a goal that we'd like to grow our email list to 10K subs. Next thing I need to do is create a squeeze page where people can sign up to my email list. No relevant URL as of yet, and I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. Then let's go ahead and create another one. Let's say we want 1K subscribers to our YouTube channel. And the next thing we're going to do for that is plan 2 episodes per week. There we go. Gonna go ahead and hit enter. We'll just go ahead and create one more, which is say that in terms of creating, maybe it's a project, so maybe we'll say it's Bill's site redesign. And the next thing that we need to do in order to get that done is we need to create the initial site mockups. These are all just kind of basic examples. And then we'll click new item, and there we go. We've got 3 items here. Now, let's say that we're working on Bill's website design. We've kind of reordered these, so we've gone into the process of what we need to focus on today. This is on deck, so I want to make sure that this is the thing that I'm working on. And then if I wanted to, I could put a link to Basecamp or one of the other third-party services or products or apps that I can use to manage in more detail, maybe the conversation with the client. You can link the email. I'll go ahead and link below the video where I talked about how to use Radar.ist with third-party apps and services. But now let's just go ahead and focus more on the actual process of creating statuses. The big difference here is that now, rather than one giant list, we've got two options here. So the first is active. So what we want to do here is go through daily or even multiple times a day and make sure that we are taking the next action that we need to do in order to get these things done. So let's say we're working on these initial mockups, right? And we finish them and we send them to the client. So the next thing we're going to want to do to make sure this keeps going forward, we'll just say something like sent mockups awaiting feedback. And then if I wanted to, I can maybe put a link to the URL of the particular email in question or the other place where that's managed. We're going to leave that blank for now. Then what we're going to do is we're going to set this to a status of waiting, and then we're going to go ahead and click update. Then you're going to see that this list now, it just contains those two items, and if we pop on over to waiting, you'll see that we now have one item that is waiting. So now there's two lists rather than one. So you might be thinking, okay, well, that's just more that I have to manage. Doesn't that make it more complicated? And I've actually found that this actually makes it a lot easier, because what I would do, if we hop in here, I've got a much longer list on my particular account. So let's say I had 10 or even 12 items. What I found myself doing was actually going in and putting all the ones on which I was waiting towards the bottom of the list. But what that can do, particularly if you're just trying to use this as a quick first glance at what you have to get done next, that can become really confusing really fast. You're kind of sifting through, okay, what do I need to do? What am I waiting on? So here's kind of how I use this. So once I'm going through and I'm kind of categorizing or organizing my day, let's say the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down, I'm going to pull out my full focus planner. As you well know, I use this in tandem with the full focus planner. Got another video which I can link below which shows you how to do that. But what we're going to do here is we're going to organize what are the things that we're waiting on and what are the things that we need to do today. So what I would do when I start my day is I'll actually start out and I'll look at the waiting tab. And so if there's clients I've reached out to, if there's clients that I've been working with, I can go in here and I can click the link. So let's say that if there was a URL to the particular email that I was working on, I could click that URL, go off and see, oh, it's been 5 days since I sent those mockups over to Bill. I should probably follow up. So I can either follow up or I can just go ahead and say, right here, I can just go ahead and say follow up with Bill. Go ahead and set that back to active. We'll click update, jump back over, and then there you go. So you see that we've got that back up in line. We can kind of put that on our list of things that we need to do to follow up today. The great thing about this is that this makes it a lot simpler for you to be able to sit down at your desk in the morning, plan out your day, and to know exactly, okay, I don't have to worry about that right now because I'm waiting on so-and-so to do the next thing in order to get that thing ready for me to take my next action. Once I hear back from Bill, I can go in here and say, let's say he sent me an email. He says, we could say apply Bill's requested revisions, link to the email or to the Basecamp project or the things list or whatever it is, keep it as active, hit update, and maybe we've got some, since we just heard back from Bill, maybe we'll just pop this back down here to make sure that we keep these moving forwards first and that sort of thing. So let's say we go ahead and we've created that particular squeeze page that's ready to go. So let's go ahead and make sure that we send our first email. So again, we're always moving these things forward. And then lastly, let's say that we've got there, we've reached our goal. It's 2, 3, 4 months down the road. We've hit 10K subscribers by going through this. So then of course we can click hit archive, and we've got that completed. And then of course we can pop back over to the archive to see all of the big projects and goals that we have accomplished. Okay, so to kind of recap, the goal here wasn't necessarily just to show you this extra added feature that I've worked into Radar.ist. The big idea here, what I'm trying to show you, is the importance of distinguishing between things that you need to focus upon and things that somebody else needs to focus upon, because there is two different ways that we treat that, right? So for example, on our active list, if we're going to be referring to Radar.ist as our example of kind of this methodology, if we're going to be focusing on our active list, that's a list of things that we are going to get done, right? Those are things that they're not only on our radar, but they're on our list of things that we need to move forward. So again, today I'm going to sit down at my desk, I'm going to make sure that I plan 2 episodes per week, and then I'm going to, after I finish that, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to apply Bill's requested revisions. Now, the great thing about having a secondary waiting list is that those things can still be on your radar, but you don't have to worry about taking the next action. Every single day you can check this list and then you can know, okay, it's on my radar, it's been 2 days, I haven't heard back yet, so tomorrow morning, once I check my list again, I can know I need to follow up on this to ensure that it keeps moving forward. So it stays on your radar, but it's not necessarily something that you have to worry about that day. Okay, so that's it. Just a really quick tip today. Whether or not you use a Radar.ist, hopefully that just gets you thinking in terms of how you can kind of organize and structure the tasks and projects and goals that you're working on to make it more clean and simple and focused and streamlined so that you get more done during the day. If you haven't already and you'd like to try out Radar.ist, again, it's totally free. It's something that I created because I didn't see anything else out in the marketplace like it, so I figured I'd create it. And I want it to be free for you to be able to use as well. So I'll leave a link below this video where you can sign up, or you can just go to Radar.ist, Radar.ist, if you'd like to sign up for a free account. And the plan is as well, in the future, I'll kind of release some more videos about some of the tips and techniques and tricks that I'm using to use Radar.ist and other tools that work around it to create a more clean and productive workflow. So as always, if you found this video useful, hit that like button, subscribe if you're not already, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.